All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thanks for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. We are starting with a rumor coming from Jeff Grubb, where he claims that a state of play is coming at the end of next month and that the PS5 Pro is still planned to release in 2024. This is being reported by Push Square. They say here, there have been a lot of rumors flying around for what feels like a long time concerning some unconfirmed but likely Sony stuff, and Jeff Grubb has just provided the latest word. Discussing the PS5 Pro on his Game Mess morning show, the reliable Giant Bomb insider has said that the upgraded console is still heading our way before the year is out. And not only that, but we may get a state of play in a matter of weeks. You can hear what he had to say on the subjects in the video itself. Responding to the story that the PS5 Pro was an open secret among developers at Gamescom, Jeff Grubb claims it's still aiming for 2024. Quote, "Last I heard, the PS5 Pro is still coming out this year," end quote. He quickly bounces off that assertion, bringing up that he's heard more recently about a state of play, not a showcase, a state of play, which will go live by the end of September. He says he doesn't know whether the PS5 Pro will feature in the state of play, but as he puts it, where else would it be? So this is quite a significant piece of information we're getting from Jeff Grubb, because I think a lot of people have been anticipating that Sony was going to be doing something in September, some kind of show. Of course, a lot of people were under the assumption that Sony was going to be doing a bigger showcase, not a state of play, but Jeff Grubb, he did make it very clear that this will not be a showcase. This is interesting because previously we've heard, just a show or an event kind of being thrown around, and we never really got explicit confirmation whether or not it was going to be a state of play or a showcase. But this time, he's being very explicit about it. He's saying it is a state of play, and it's coming at the end of September, and that the PS5 Pro is still coming. And so I think this is going to be disappointing to some people, certainly, because it feels like it's been forever since Sony's done a proper showcase, and the last showcase they did was pretty underwhelming for most people. However, it's interesting to think that if you look at January of this year, Sony held a 40-minute state of play, which people absolutely loved, and it basically felt like a mini showcase and was hailed as the best state of play that they've ever done. More recently, in May, they did another state of play, which was not nearly as good, but we did get a first-party reveal through Astrobot. So I guess the reason why I'm pointing this out is because even though it is disappointing that we're not apparently going to be getting a showcase, it's not to say that this state of play couldn't be pretty significant. Sony has made it clear this year specifically that they are apparently willing to reveal some first-party stuff during their state of plays, which they previously didn't really do that often, if really ever. Astrobot was a brand new PlayStation Studios announcement, and then in January, there was the PlayStation Studios announcement that they were partnering once again with Kojima Productions for Physint, his next big game. So it makes me wonder if this state of play we get next month could have another kind of surprise first-party reveal. I would, obviously keep expectations in check, and who knows, maybe we'll get more information leading up to it. We're about a month away from this potential state of play happening, but it does sound like Sony has quite a bit going on in September. We got the release of Astrobot, we have a state of play, we have the PS5 Pro reveal, and we have Sony attending TGS. So there's quite a bit going on, but yeah, I wanted to make sure to let you guys know about this. Everybody's been wondering, is there going to be a state of play? Is there going to be a showcase? Is Sony doing anything? This is the latest we're hearing. Moving on to the next topic, we're talking about Sony's renewed interest in the handheld market thanks to the success of the PlayStation Portal. Coming from Push Square, they say Sony is allegedly keeping a close eye on the handheld market following the surprise success of the PS Portal. Despite being panned pre-release in public opinion polls, the remote play accessory has gone on to become a bit of a sensation, blowing past the platform holder's pre-release sales estimates and topping revenue charts around the world. Goes on to say here, well-connected tipster Tom Henderson wrote on X that the Japanese giant is paying very close attention to the handheld market in the aftermath of PS Portal's success. There's been a resurgence of interest in portables following the launch of the Steam Deck and a variety of other PC-based handhelds like the ROG Ally. Despite the tidal wave of interest from enthusiasts, however, it's perhaps worth remembering that the Steam Deck has sold fewer than 10 million units, which is less than the PlayStation Vita. There were unsubstantiated rumors earlier in the year from a random Russian account that Sony was plotting a portable which would only play PS4 titles, but this was never corroborated by a reliable source despite widespread reporting from the media. I do want to add to this that there were actually other individuals that I would say are certainly much more credible, saying that Sony actually was prototyping and in the very early process of creating a dedicated handheld. I believe it was Moore's Law is Dead, who was actually, I think, the first person to leak the specifications of the PS5 Pro. He said that Sony is in this process, but I think we also heard from Red Gaming Tech as well that apparently this is something Sony's been looking into for a little while, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I think it would be crazy for Sony to just completely forego this market completely. You know, I understand that maybe they made some mistakes with the PlayStation Vita and it didn't do as well as they had hoped. But I think seeing the success of the PlayStation Portal, considering it's not even a traditional, you know, native handheld, and seeing how much interest there is in it, and it's doing way better than they expected, and also seeing these other devices like the article mentions, you know, like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck, I mean, it just seems obvious to me that Sony should absolutely be doing something here. And so it seems like they are. I don't know when we can expect it. I don't know if we'll see something from them this generation, maybe next generation, but either way, it seems fairly obvious in my opinion that this is something Sony's going to, you know, pursue and look into. I think pretty much every platform holder is realizing that they have to play some role in the dedicated handheld market. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the final set of topics here, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. We have a bunch of new information. First and foremost, I just want to say that the previews have went out for MGS Delta Snake Eater, and they are extremely positive. Everybody who went hands-on with the game is saying that it looks incredible and it's extremely faithful to the original, but the changes that were made make the game feel somewhat similar to Metal Gear Solid 5, and even in some cases Metal Gear Solid 4 in terms of the gameplay improvements that they made, but it still basically, you know, feels exactly like the original game, if that makes sense. So it sounds like they kept everything that was important to keep the same, exactly the same, but made changes in areas that just objectively would make the game better and make it feel up to modern standards in terms of gameplay mechanics. They also did confirm in these previews that there is going to be a fidelity mode and a performance mode. So you will be able to choose between 4K 30 FPS or I think a, I mean, I don't know what the resolution is going to be, if it's going to be 1080p or 1440p, but at 60 FPS. Makes me wonder if this game is going to end up getting like a PS5 Pro patch at some point. But we also heard recently that apparently they're going to be announcing the release date for this game very soon. It says here from Push Square at the very end of the PlayStation blog's hands-on feature for Konami's remake, the author states we'll be getting a release date sometime in 2024. So he's not saying it's releasing in 2024. He's saying that we're going to get the release date announcement in 2024. So I am still anticipating that this game is going to be a 2025 title, but I have one other write-up here from Gaming Bolt. It says here that as outlined in IGN's recent preview, there's a new quick dial mechanic for accessing the codec. Pressing down on the D-pad brings up the option to save or call specific characters. As seen above, they have some images here. Pressing up also grants access to a menu for quickly changing camouflage, and left and right will cycle through the equipment. But that's not all. As Push Square revealed, the remake features a prompt for adding a new item or weapon to your quick access bar. It's a big step up from continuously going into your backpack and setting things up. There's even a compass that points towards your next objective. There's a trade-off though, as you have to equip the compass as an item. If you don't have an anti-personnel sensor out at the time, it may result in an unwanted enemy encounter. So again, some of the smaller tweaks and changes that they're making to Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake here, but looking at the images and, you know, kind of hearing how they're implementing this, it sounds awesome, it looks awesome. And so yeah, I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I really can't wait for this game. And you know, hearing that we're going to be getting a release date very soon, I can't help but wonder, considering we just heard that apparently a state of play is happening at the end of September. If maybe it could show up there with a new trailer, maybe a release date trailer, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.